The New York Knicks, they've won 3 games in a row, 6 out of their last 7. They're guaranteed to have a winning road trip on a 5-game trip right now, but they have a big test coming up on Monday as they face the team that is tied for the best record in the Western Conference. That would be the Minnesota Timberwolves. And joining me to talk some Knicks hoops is the Dean of Knicks Film School, my guy, Jonathan Macri, joins me now. J-Mac, what's going on?
Not much, Dex. I feel like we've been saying this a lot the last few years. It's a good time to be a Knicks fan. It's just a nice, normal, competent basketball team. How about that?
Yeah, competent, confident. You got to like all the things. Good C words there that you can have around the Knicks. Not bad there at all. Jonathan, on Saturday, Knicks, they were competent. They took care of business against the Hornets down in Charlotte, and they did something that they hadn't done since 2007. That is win back-to-back games wire to wire. Yeah. So what do you make of how the Knickerbockers have been playing during this stretch?
I'm going to steal your word since you just threw it out there. They're playing with confidence. And I think that manifests itself both in their play style. They know exactly what they are doing on offense and defense every possession, but also in how they're shooting it. You know, there was a lot of talk in the early going about how they were missing a ton of threes. They were one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league when they got off to that 2-4 start. Well, since then, over their last bunch of games, which of course they've won most of, they're the best three-point shooting team in the league, hitting it at about a 43% clip over their last 7, and they're taking a good amount of them too. I think they're about 10th in the league in three-point attempts. So when a team is feeling good about itself, I feel like that you could see it in a few ways, and for this team, it's definitely showing up in how they're doing behind the arc.
No, absolutely doing that. Knicks fans were, as you said, concerned about that shooting early on. Small sample size we talked about last time. Now that is turned around. During this stretch, winning 6 out of the last 7, Julius Randle, he's appeared to bounce back after a slow start shooting the ball poorly to this season. What do you like about how the Knicks forward is playing right now?
I'm going to use an overused phrase that has been said about Julius Randle and his process over the years, which is he's letting the game come to him. I think in the early going, you saw a player who obviously still coming off of ankle surgery, didn't have his usual summer of preparation, and he was forcing it. And I think he was trying to use his strength, use his physicality to force shots on the rim, even when those shots weren't there. I think in the early going first 5 or 6 games, he was shooting under 25% at the rim, which for a guy that you know looks like Julius Randle, it's almost crazy. Since then, he's no longer forcing it down low. He's taking the shots that are available to him, whether they're behind the arc, inside, in the mid-range. And he's still not lighting it up. Like the percentages are not quite where he's used to, but he's doing more than enough to help his team win. And most importantly, if there is a pass to be made, he is making the pass, and he is not hesitating, and he's seeing passes, I think, at a nice clip as well.
Yeah, I think that is good to see from him. He's making the pass. He's also doing a good job on the boards as well, too, despite Mitchell Robinson eating everything off the glass these days. So it's good to see he's doing that as well. Now, the past few games, J-Mac, both the players and Tom Thibodeau, they've talked about how they like how the team is playing. They're in a good spot at 8-5. But they've been saying that, look, we still have work to do. Where do you think that this team has room to grow as we move forward in the season?
I'll go back to actually something Julius said, since we were just talking about him. After their win, I think it was on Friday against the Wizards, or maybe it was the previous game. In one of the post-game interviews he did recently, he talked about just making the next pass. And I look at a Knicks team that clearly they're firing on all cylinders on defense. They're clearly shooting the ball well. They're still 23rd in the league in assist rate. Now, high assists have not been a characteristic of the Tom Thibodeau Knicks, even when they've been good. They've been either 29th or 30th in the league during both of their seasons where they ended up in the playoffs. Again, right now they're 23rd, which is an improvement for them. I still think it could get better, and we're seeing players on this team, I think most notably Jalen Brunson, have the best passing season of his career. I just think it comes down to remaining, you know, it's not about selfishness, but about having the confidence that your teammates are going to be there and be able to make the next pass after you make the pass to them. So it's not necessarily about getting the assist yourself, but setting up your teammate with the opportunity to you know, make the right play after that.
All right, keep an eye on that ball movement, see if the Knicks can improve in that category as they go forward in this season. Last thing for me here, Jonathan, is the Knicks. We talked about this. They're going to face the 9-3 Timberwolves on Monday night. Minnesota, they are tied for the best record in the West with Denver. They're currently one of the best defenses in the NBA. Do you view this as a big test for the Knicks, and what are the keys to them getting a victory in Minneapolis and closing out this road trip with a 4-1 record?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a test. I mean, I think you probably put the Celtics and the Nuggets in a class, by themselves at the top of the league. But the Timberwolves have beaten both of those teams. Like, they are capable of beating anyone on any given night. You mentioned the defense. They've gotten a little lucky with opponents' three-point shooting percentages, and that has started to normalize the last few games, one of which they lost to Phoenix, and the other of which was a nail-biter against the Pelicans, who were missing Zion Williamson. Even so, you're not going to get anything at the rim. So I think it comes down to, again, kind of what we've been talking about. The Knicks are not forcing anything that isn't there, but they're usually pretty good about not challenging a really good rim protector. And I would say the one area where the Timberwolves have been a little susceptible is in turning the ball over. They have one of the higher turnover rates in the league this season under Tom Thibodeau. Again, not characteristic of his defenses usually. The Knicks are generating a fair bit of turnovers, and they are converting a lot of those into points. So I would say try to turn your defense into offense. The best way to beat a good half-court defense is to not let them get set. So if they could do that against Minnesota, I think they'll be in good shape.
All right, we will see if the Knicks can do that. Right now, 8-5 on the season, as I said, Monday night, going up against the 9-3 Timberwolves in Minneapolis. That should be a good one. That is Jonathan Macri, the Dean of Knicks Film School, always bringing you the great insights surrounding the New York Knickerbockers. Jonathan, always good to talk to you. We'll see how the Knicks do on Monday, and they close out this road trip. Thank you, man.
Appreciate you, Dex. Thanks so much.